right. Hey, hi, my name's Dan. I am from the Seattle area as part of CLUG and PSLTC. I also run my own studio where we build models for clients. And this year for BrickCon, the theme was mocking history. So what we've done with our model here is literally mock history. We set up a scenario where France has given liberty enlightening the world to not the United States, but to Russia. So, as you can see, the statue is in downtown Red Square. After the revolution, the statue was painted red. The torch was thrown out. They've added a golden hammer to symbolize the people of now the Soviet Union. And the shot we're seeing here is a typical October military parade rolling down the street.
And so run us through a little bit of the buildings here. Maybe talk about the structure of a few of them and, what it took to build them, all that kind of good stuff.
Well, the display actually started as a couple of disconnected concepts. Once I built the train, which is in front, and the concepts came together, we saw very quickly what we should build. And obviously, we did not build a very scale, realistic model of Red Square. I mean, the buildings would be massive. We had to very artfully, selectively compress the spirit of what you would see in Red Square and create the 3 different buildings, as well as we did a redo on the pedestal. So we looked at monumental Soviet architecture, what is also known as concrete brutalism, and we came up with our own design for a pedestal to put the Statue of Liberty on. It worked out very well scale-wise. It brought the statue down, so it forms a much tighter scene. Otherwise, the buildings I did as sketches on paper. Those sketches are actually laying on table to the right of the display. And I had a couple of my team members in my shop run with some basic ideas and create those. I kind of jumped in. I did 2 of the buildings for the most part, but the red one on the left-hand end was done by one of my other team members. In the back of the display is a little bit of the Kremlin wall. We've got this cool poster that we created. We took 2 different posters, and in Cyrillic this says "Defend Moscow," and oh look, mocking history. Yes, yeah. We also Lego digitized it, put this on a great adhesive label, and that hangs on the back wall of the Kremlin here.
That is a very nifty kind of picture frame holder almost.
Yeah, worked out really well.
And so talk about some of the colors we're seeing here. I see a lovely dark red. Is that sand red?
That is sand red. I have got what would constitute the federal depository of sand red Lego in my studio under lock and key.
Yeah, it is very expensive these days. Sand red has not been in production for how long?
For about 10 years. I've got crates of it.
That's amazing. So you got in at the right time. Get in early.
I did. The buildings, we just looked at typical buildings that you would find in Moscow, in Russia, around Red Square. I did some sketches, pen and ink sketches, pen and paper, and created these small little buildings that just kind of evoke different imperial architectural styles.
You got it. And one of the things I'm seeing in here, and this is not like a slight, this is something that I think is kind of awesome, is that this looks similar to a Statue of Liberty kind of Lego set, and this looks like something that might be from a Lego set. And then I'm not sure if I've seen this tank before or not, but maybe this is something like I think lots of other creative fields we kind of freely borrow, like from this, and so your creation is an amalgamation of other people's things, and then it's a unique. I just think that's an amazing tangent. So
I heard this during a TED talk that a lot of creativity is very discreetly borrowed. We did take the base Statue of Liberty. We added our own twist to it with the red hammer. Now, I did not have a direct replacement on color for the nose, so I had to reform the nose.
Totally.
Obviously, it's now holding the Communist Manifesto, not the tablet that we, have the 1776 on. The little amphibious car, a very far back inspiration for the display was that Indiana Jones set with the little amphibious vehicle. We recolored it.
Heck yeah.
Of course, added some new, very enthusiastic Soviet troops.
Woo!
Oh, yeah, love it. Yeah, Russian communistic punk, I guess.
Totally. It's something I try and do this when I'm building a diorama or a display. It's like you kind of want to borrow selectively and just sort of come up with your own cool thing.
You mentioned the tank. I'm very pleased with the tank. I did this myself. This is my first tank. It took me 2 days to build, and I was just really pleased with I mean, the treads even go around. I was pleased with how this came out.
That's awesome.
For a lot of my work, I tell my guys the philosophy is you're working like a cartoonist. So you're not copying any one direct thing accurately or exactly.
You're rendering it in your own special way.
You look at that style and you capture the spirit of something. So that's what we've done, is we've tried to capture the spirit of a Cold War era Soviet tank, but in our own exact lines.
Totally. And then you mentioned the drawings over here to the right. Do you want to take a minute to show those to us?
Sure. I'm going to grab these drawings. And these drawings might be hard to pick up on camera, but there is not a lot to a display like this. Whoa, wild one there. We simply sketch out a basic idea, a plan of the display, and then an elevation in front. You can see the Statue of Liberty, the fronts of the building, and obviously ours doesn't match the drawing exactly, and that's okay. Working with Legos like jazz music, you have a basic drum, basic rhythm line, but then you do a lot of improvisation around it. So not too much to it. I told my guys, I gave my guys some ideas for the buildings. And we ran with it. I got a great team.
That's awesome, Dan. I love the creative process. I love the sort of borrowing this and that and sort of just putting it all together into something wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing it with us.
You bet. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate you being here.
Thank you.